is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a marvelous day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up and your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. And today, I'm really sort of excited about something that I've been wanting to hear for a long time. I, along with many other black people, am sick and tired of Democrats and their pundits trying to scare black people every election season about something. They know how to plant fear in the minds of black people so that by the time the election season come around, they're already crying. They're going to put us back in slavery, or they're going to take all of our jobs, or they're going to take our house, or it's just something all the time to keep black people scared. I didn't realize for a long time that the source of this is the Democratic Party, frightening black people into voting Democratic because if you don't, all of these terrible things are going to happen to you. Well, somewhere along the way, somebody got some courage, and I'm jumping on that bandwagon because by now we ought to know, if we don't know, that they're both batting for the same team. One might be a right-handed batter, the other might be a left-handed batter, but they're batting for the same team, and the name of the team is white supremacy. Now, we might function okay within the system, but we need to know that that's what the system is. So one party is really not so much different than the other. They're about the same in what they will do. The difference is that the rhetoric is different. They talk differently about who they are and what they are. But what they're going to do, especially for black people, is pretty much going to be the same thing. So the Democrats have been putting this hoax on black people for at least since the 1960s. And we have voted for them and have made some progress under the Democrats, but we also make some progress under the Republicans. But the Democrats are really good at demagoguing the issue and putting the burden of racism and bigotry and discrimination on the Republicans when in fact they all engage in it. The Democratic Party was the ruling party in the South during slavery. The Republican Party was the anti-slavery party. So it was the party that elected Abraham Lincoln, who ultimately presided over the end of slavery. So from the 1800s all the way up to the 1960s, black people were Republicans. My grandfather was a Republican. My father was a Republican. My father is the only person who will admit that he voted for Richard Nixon. And my husband is named for a Republican presidential nominee. So black people were Republicans. But beginning in the 1960s, they did a switcheroo on us. The Republicans became the conservative, anti-black party, so to speak, and the Democrats became the liberal, all-inclusive party. So it really was kind of a trick, but they switched places. But Joe Biden might be the last of the presidents to benefit from the fear that black people hold during election cycles. There has been an evolution in the thinking, especially of young black people, towards politics. It used to be they would come to your church during election season and they would sing and clap their hands, acting like they had rhythm, and black people would just be skinning and grinning. But it has changed. We have grown. I am happy to say we have grown. Remember during the 2020 election cycle, Joe Biden went on the Breakfast Club and said, if you vote for Donald Trump, you ain't black. And black people were offended by that because it was condescending and it was almost a sense of, you don't have a choice but to vote for me. And so yes, black people were offended. But back in the day, many would have been flattered by that, and they would have been telling it all over the community, skinning and grinning. But this election cycle, the wind has changed. Black people have changed. But Simone Sanders, who is a staunch Democratic pundit and operative, had to break some news to Joe Biden. And she had to tell him that trying to scare black, she said black and Latino voters, but I'm just going to say black. Trying to scare black voters is not enough. So at least she knows that. Simone Sanders, a former Biden campaign senior advisor and MSNBC host, offered advice to President Biden acknowledging the anxiety among certain groups and emphasizing the issue of gun violence in schools. She raised questions about Democratic strategies for engaging key constituencies, particularly young people, black and Latino voters, suggesting that simply invoking fear of Donald Trump may not be sufficient for these groups. And she's right about that. What do you think Democrats have? What are your sources telling you that they are strategizing about going into 2024, and how they're going to talk to some of these key constituencies? Because to be frank, for young people, and I would even argue for a number of black and Latino voters, scaring them about Donald Trump is not going to be enough. Well, at least she's on the right track. She's telling them what's not going to work. Trying to scare people is not going to work. We already know about Donald Trump. Under Donald Trump, all he was really talking about was building the wall. And I'm not sure black people had a problem with that. And the unemployment rate among black people during the Trump administration was at an all-time low. Also, Donald Trump funded HBCUs at a higher rate than President Obama did. And then President Biden came in saying that he had given all these billions to the HBCUs, only to find out that that money was to be distributed among HBCUs and any university that had a percentage of Hispanic or indigenous people and other minorities. So it wasn't just for HBCUs. Biden seems to be so smug in the idea that he's going to win among black people regardless, the way the Democrats always have done. But Jim Clyburn may not be able to pull it out for him this time, because it seems to me that black people may have lost confidence in the Congressional Black Caucus, if there was ever any confidence in that group. So at least they're trying to send the warning signals to Joe Biden. You need to do something besides just talk. And we don't need another holiday. We don't need a Rosa Parks holiday. We don't need any other holiday, because the fact of the matter was, we were already celebrating Juneteenth, and we were already singing the Black National Anthem. So we didn't really need any help. We were already celebrating Black History Month. So we didn't need those things to be nationalized. We need them to talk about things that are concerning to black people, like police reform and something done about this mass incarceration, slavery, and reparations. We need these things to be talked about too. So those things need to be on the agenda going forward. So nobody's scared anymore. They need to come with something solid, or else, black people need to do like everybody else and expand our options. Okay, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about the video. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.